I'm Wiseman Antonovsky, this is another day in my life, and haven't people gotten rude? Yes, for a country perceived by the world as largely quiet, patient, and painfully polite, the quality of people in this beloved land of mine has gone downhill lately. Now, this is by no means a generalisation of the whole country, because yes, we do still have some painfully polite people here. Aye. But the stories I have for you today are some of the most embarrassing human beings I've ever come to encounter, being as I am on the front line of customer interaction on a daily basis. Now, my first example is from a Sunday a few weeks back when I was out with my father and my sister at a local harvester. And while we were enjoying our meal, as you do, we were interrupted by our blasted English nosiness and a conversation on the opposite table. Now you know that when you're at a restaurant, the waiter/waitress will come back every so often and just be like, "Is everything okay with your meal?" And your answer will vary from, "Yes, thank you very much," to "Can't talk, eating," with a thumbs up thrown in for good measure. Now this gentleman, with patronising quotation marks, was in the midst of complaining to the waitress about the quality of his food. Now, he had the barbecue full rack of ribs, which happened to be what I had at the time, so I can tell you, it's fantastic. Really spot on. Now, I missed most of the complaint because I was enjoying my meal, but I did catch the part where he complained about the quality of the food in comparison to the price, and this is where my ears pricked up. No one saw them prick up because of this, but they did. They pricked up because I don't know if anyone's ever been to a harvester, but the prices of these places are really, really fair. At least to my opinion they are. You know, you can eat really well for like just over a tenner. That's not expensive. Pizza Express is expensive. And not only that, but the quality of the food matches. Not saying it's cheap quality, but it's really good quality, and it doesn't cost a lot. So I naturally took issue with his complaint, but the worst was yet to come. Once he finished complaining about the shoddy quality of the food, he then demanded more. Let me just give you a moment to process that. I don't like the quality of the food. I want more. I should point out at this point that his plate was spotless. Not even a speck of sauce left on his plate. So yeah, you clearly weren't enjoying that at all, were you? I'm also going to point out that the person he was with, I assume some sort of partner, girlfriend, work colleague, whatever, was sat there with a sort of expression on her face. Just like that. We all know what that means, don't we? It means, shut the hell up. Just shut up. Stop with this, and just shut up. Now, my sister being, you know, the mature individual that she is, and me being the mature role model older brother that I am, immediately began to mock him, quite deliberately loudly, almost as if we wanted him to hear. Making such statements as, "I finished drinking my drink. Outrageous. It should be full. I demand free chips." Or picking up the empty bones that we'd left and demanding that meat magically reappear on them for no additional price, which is completely understandable. And I think after a while he started to notice, because he was giving us the evils from across the room. So, when the waitress returned to our table and proceeded to ask us, "Is everything okay with your meal?" my sister and I quite loudly said, "Yes, thank you very much, it's fantastic," while I snapped a wink across the table. He didn't like that. Not one bit. Now you can say at this point that my sister and I were being childish, and yeah, we kind of were. But firstly, all of the staff were chuckling shyly at our impersonations, which I rather liked. And secondly, you can go right ahead and blame it on our upbringing to simply enjoy a fantastic meal that's been made for us and to show respect to the fine people who provided it. Bad us. My second example comes from a shift at work. Now, some of you may know there are certain rules that I have to abide by when it comes to delivery. For instance, one of the big rules is I am only allowed to deliver to the address on the piece of paper. What this basically is to prevent someone accessing their account, putting their contact number as a contact number. Thereby, when I get to the address and no one's in, I call this mysterious other person and he redirects me to his house, thereby stealing somebody else's shopping. In order to prevent this, I'm not allowed to deliver to any other address, only the one that's in front of me. If you're not in, or you've moved, nothing I can do. You can't. Nothing I can do. Now, this occurred on, I believe, a Friday evening. I got to the address, there was clearly no one in. I rang the home number, yeah, it rang for a few rings, and then went straight to the answer phone, which was your bog standard automated voice answer phone. So I called the mobile number, and I was informed by the chap on the end of the phone that he no longer lived there, that he had in fact moved house and must have forgotten to change the address. So I simply explained to him, yeah, I'm not allowed to redeliver it anywhere else, so if you give customer services a ring, they can change the system around, change the address, and they'll probably reschedule for the delivery with no additional delivery charge. Which, being that we hadn't made a mistake, and it was in fact entirely his mistake, I thought to be very fair. He disagreed, calmly at first, saying that, oh, it's only around the corner, you know, there's no need to get customer services involved, or something on the lines of, oh, go on, just do me a favour, you know, or I really need the shopping, I haven't got any food in the house, other such nonsense like that, to which I was simply calmly replying, look, really sorry, there's nothing I can do. And then it changed, and he just said something along the lines of, oh, you just can't be bothered to deliver it, you're just trying to get out delivering it, you lazy. And then stopped. So I politely asked him to finish his sentence, and he silently refused by hanging up. So I got on the phone to customer services, told them what had happened, and proceeded to add that not only would I not be delivering his shopping this evening, I would never deliver it again, for fear of a passive-aggressive encounter that, like which the world has never seen. Fair enough, I think, it's for the world's good. Now, my final tale comes from a few years back, and my then-girlfriend was working in W.H. Smith's in Bath. Now, I've always taken issue with Bath. There are some really nasty people there, like, seriously nasty people. They're all just really rude, obnoxious. Now, not all of them. There are some nice people in Bath, but for the most part, they are just the worst. But the award for the all-time worst simply has to go to the lady, again with the patronising quotation marks, who came into W.H. Smith's hoping to buy a magazine. She put it on the counter, and my best friends simply said to her, "That's a great magazine," being one that she's already read. And this lady then proceeded to say, "I didn't ask for your opinion." Who does that? Seriously? Where did that even come from? Truly, there are some horrible people in the world, and I really don't see the point at all. We're all in the same boat together, and true, the voyage can make us a little grumpy at times, things don't always quite go your way, and it's human nature to take it out on someone we perceive as being lower than us, more often than not, someone who is in the profession of providing a service, be it a delivery person, a waiter or waitress, a cashier. But are these people really any different from us? Are they not, at the end of the day, working for a living? Have they not put aside their individual stresses and the wear and tear of their home life in order to put on a smile and a happy face and greet you fresh and new, while providing you with their service, be it having your food delivered or just purchasing goods, having food made for you? How awful do you have to be to have really good food made for you and then proceed to complain about it for the only reason that I can perceive, just to get a bit more for free? Let me ask you this. When was the last time someone in one of these professions greeted you with a good morning, a good afternoon, good evening, how are you today, anything along those lines? Or, you know, did they just sort of get on with what they were doing, to just start unloading your shopping, just start scanning the stuff through. Now, in my job, I'm expected to greet every customer, no matter who they are, no matter what history I've had with them, no matter what's going on in that particular day. I'm expected to greet every customer with a smile and a how are you, just engage them in light conversation to make the experience a little bit more pleasurable, so that when they close the door, they, at worst, think, that went well, and at best think, what a nice man. Because this ensures that the customer has had a positive experience, and positive experience creates return customers. It's just simple work economics. If I was to just go to the door, chuck the stuff on the doorstep, and just say, there it is, it's all yours, and then go and sit in the van while they unload it, chances are they're going to go to Sainsbury's, God forbid. Or worse, Asda. Ugh. What a horrible thought. I'm sure the situation is the same as any line of work, whether you're a cashier or whatever you are. Now let me ask you this. When was the last time you beat one of these people to the good morning? When was the last time, before the cashier even looked up from what they were doing previously, you started the conversation with, good morning, how are you? Something like that. Let me tell you, one of the high points of my day is when I get beaten to it. When I'm walking towards the door, they're already in the doorway, and before I can even muster a how are you, I have to reply to one. Little moments like that make my job worth doing. Little moments like that make any job worth doing. You know, we're all in the same boat. You know, manners start with you. If you are polite to people, they will be polite back to you. And I will walk away from the door thinking, what a nice customer. I hope I get them again. And they'll be closing the door going, damn, what a good guy. What a fantastic chap. I can dream, right? So I suppose what I'm getting at here is there's no need for being rude to people who are providing you with a service. I'm sure most people don't do it. It's just, I know from experience that there are people out there who do look down their nose at you. Maybe you deal with them on a day-to-day basis. I know I do. There's always one. There always has to be one that spoils it. And all we do with them is we just take a deep breath, ignore it, give them the customer service that they deserve, get back in the van, and then scream and shout to ourselves about what an obnoxious little person we just delivered to. So, got any stories of particular rudeness to share? Whack 'em in the comments. Share and share alike. Maybe you work in the service industry and you have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, like me. Let's all natter amongst ourselves about how awful people are. Maybe you live in a different country from this one right here. Is it any different in your country? Do people treat you any better? Any worse, perhaps? Share, discuss. I've been Wiseman Antonovsky. This has been another day in my life. Thanks for watching. Join me next time when I shall be discussing what exactly sank the Transformers franchise. See you then.